That was a bummer. As a blackjack player, there are going to be many times when the cards just don't fall your way. The good news is that even though we lost that hand, the running count went up by 4, and now is a very juicy plus 19. Did you get 19? If you didn't, watch that section of the DVD again until your count is coming out the way it should. There's about 4 3/4 decks left. 19 divided by 4 3/4 is, well, it's too difficult to figure out at the blackjack table. So let's make things easier on ourselves. I'm rounding the number of decks remaining up to 5, and I'm also going to round the running count up to 20, which is a multiple of 5. Because I'm rounding both numbers in the same direction and then dividing, the result will still be close. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Our true count is plus 4. 4, our true count, minus 1 is 3. So I'm going to bet 3 times my unit, or $600.
Checks play?
The pit boss checked me out when I raised my bet. That doesn't always mean I'm in trouble. It could mean he's tracking my play so he can offer me a comp. Or maybe he's just lonely. Keep track of the count as the hand progresses. Remember, we started this hand at plus 19.
20. Very nice. 20 again.
Blackjack!
Wow. Big hand.
Right.
20. Wow. Great hands. And dealer opens up. 10. 21. Congratulations. 15. Here we go. 25. Congratulations.
What's the running count? It was plus 19 at the beginning of the hand. 2 big cards drop the count by 2. 2 more big cards do it again. The blackjack was worth minus 2. 2 kings means subtract 2 more. The 9 is invisible, and my ace cancels with the dealer's 5. 2 more invisible cards. Then 2 more big cards, and the running count drops to plus 9. There are about 4.5 decks left in the shoe. 9 divided by 4.5 is 2. Our true count is 2. The advantage has dropped, so we should lower our bet. The easiest way to spot card counters is by their betting patterns. I recently raised my bet up to $600. Then, many high cards were dealt, which resulted in me reducing my bets to $200. So the pit boss is justifiably suspicious about my play. He may be calling surveillance and asking them to keep an eye on me. To throw them off my scent, I'm going to make some camouflage plays. I'm not going to let them catch me. You've mastered basic strategy, you count cards in your sleep, you never fail to put out the correct bet. It's time to get rich, right? Well, not so fast. The casinos that once welcomed your amateur play, they're not going to be so happy about your action now that you've become a skillful player. There are 2 ways to camouflage your play: good acting and bad playing. Good acting is essentially behaving like a typical gambler and not like a typical card counter. This seems obvious, but it actually can be pretty challenging to play and act while at the same time keeping the count and determining how much to bet. Here are some examples of good acting. Acting uninterested in other players' cards. Talking to the other players at the table. Pretending to chase a winning streak when the count is high. Pretending to be drunk. Pretending to be a high roller. Bad playing is another good way to make the casino think you're a juicy customer. If you think you're getting too much heat, you might want to make a bad play by going off basic strategy. Here's some examples of bad playing. Making a basic strategy mistake. For example, standing a 16 against a 10. Don't make a mistake that'll cost you too much, like doubling a 12 against a 6. Another way to throw them off is to raise your bet when the count goes down, or you can raise or lower your bet when the count is even. The key is to keep camouflage inexpensive. You're playing blackjack to win money, right? Just remember to save bad plays for those times when you've made small bets, and only use them when necessary. Don't overdo it. I want to remind you that counting cards is perfectly legal. All you're doing is using your skills to beat the game. But obviously, casinos don't like losing their money, and they have the right to ask you to leave at any time for any reason. Because of this, you have to be able to detect heat. You have to develop a sense for when your play is being scrutinized. On the other hand, you don't want to be overly paranoid. Let's consider some common scenarios to see how much we should be concerned about certain behaviors. The pit boss looks at you and then begins scribbling notes. This isn't usually a cause for concern. They might be recording the amount that you're betting so they can offer you a comp. If they offer you a comp, take it. The pit boss starts talking to you. This probably isn't a cause for concern. Act calm and friendly and continue playing. Avoid a confrontation. The pit boss instructs the dealer to shuffle up. This probably means they strongly suspect you're counting. Play a few more hands to put some doubt in their mind, and then leave quietly. The pit boss glares at you and then gets on the phone. This is probably a cause for concern. You should think about leaving if you're not in the middle of a hot shoe, so you can come back another day. The pit boss asks you to stop playing blackjack or to leave. Don't argue, just leave. I'm not going to let the pit boss intimidate me. If he sees me acting nervous, he'll suspect I'm a counter. The key is to play it cool. Our running count is at 9. Because of the low true count, I'm only betting 1 unit on each hand.
Very nice so far.
Good start.
Good start.
Right.
Very nice.
Love getting blackjack. It's better than anything. Well, almost anything.
Dealer opens up a 3.
This looks like a good time for me to make a bad play, but I'm not going to take a hit with a 15 against the dealer's 3.
15 on the 3, stay. 20 on the 3, stay. Here we go. Dealer opens up 6. 12. 22.
You're still counting, right? The running count has dropped to +3. I don't have an advantage, but since I'm about even with the casino, I'm going to make a camouflage play that won't cost me much. I'm going to raise my bet from $200